Welcome back into the Yeager Stadium studio. I'm Terry Bridge, filling in for Steve Baker as our position preview continues here in 2024. And joining us, Chuck Martin and offensive line. You got to love this room here because there's some experience coming back there for you.
Yeah, we like the group coming back. Obviously, it starts with Reed Holsky and Jados as our two big tackles coming back, who both had really, really good years for us and have another jump in both their games. And I know they're looking forward to trying to take it. And then Colby Borders at center had a really nice year for us going into his senior year. And he had a great year, but he's got another huge jump in him that he's excited to try to take. Then you lost Vaughn. Was rotational, but we got our other guard coming back, and John Young will be in his second year, and he did a nice job for us last year, but he's got a couple huge jumps left in his game, the transfer from Kentucky. So you got 4 of your 5 starters back. We really don't know who the other guard's going to be. It's going to be a battle. Gavin Roars, coming off an injury, was having a really good spring. Charlie Nank, very experienced. Drew Terrell, who played in our goal line packages at tight end and did a really nice job for us a year ago. You got Eric Smith and Greg Smith. They're 2 younger guys, and you also got Andrew Lowry. So we have a lot of young old linemen that have the ability to play at a high level. They're not close to being consistent enough yet. Any one of those guys could step up and be the other guard. But with 4 starters coming back and three of them playing all league caliber play, and then John having a really nice year for us. So we should be good up front. We're going to have to be. There's times Rashad did some of their work for him. Sometimes we didn't block as well as we'd like, and Rashad would make a few guys, not necessarily miss, but broke a lot of tackles, a lot of yards after contact. So we're going to have to even be better up front and do a better job in pass protection. So we had a really good year a year ago, particularly down the stretch. Everybody knew we were going to run the ball when Brett went down. Everybody knew AV was a running quarterback. It's hard enough to run the ball, but when the other team knows that's what you're going to do, running the ball 48 times and throwing it 12 against OU in the biggest game of the year says a lot about that group. And then what we did in short yardage and red zone, pretty much we got the ball inside the 5. We just hand the ball to Rashad. We always scored. Sure. Made play calling pretty easy down there. But in previous years, we haven't been able to run the ball as good down in those tight situations. So we're really looking for that group to lead our offense and give our quarterbacks tons of time and give our running backs some big holes to run through. Some
names that you mentioned there were redshirt freshmen last year, and Eric Smith, and then Brandon Lawhorn Moore, and then also I guess you have to throw in there is Charlie Nank.
Yeah, no, Chuck, like I said, between Eric Smith and Greg Smith, I didn't mention Brandon Lawhorn Moore. I'm glad you did because he's right in the mix to start. Gavin Roars is right in the mix to start. Chuck Nank is right in the mix to start. So there is Andrew Lowry's coming. So there's a lot of bodies there. Our 2 deep is going to be, and again, who's going to surface this fall camp? Who's going to want to fight and compete and win the spot? We'll see, and it may be rotational up there, which you can rotate guys at O-line pretty good. So. But we're excited about that group. We got a veteran group with 4 stars back, and we got some young kids that we think should be really good players this year, not in the future. We know we're going to need them to be really good players in the future, but should be able to come in and fight right away.
And the offensive line, I know that you love to put games away, as most coaches do, and being able to run the football. And it's so important once you have that lead to be able to just grind it out and win the football game.
Yeah, we went on like a 7-minute drive against OU late in the game, which basically ended that game. And then obviously MAC championship game, you're up, 1 score, you're up a couple points. You got the ball 6 minutes to go. If you punt it back, they kick a field goal, and you're not the MAC champs, And being able to run the ball, and score and take time off the clock and put the game away basically with that drive. And again, the funnest thing for me in sports is when they know you got to run and you can still run on them. It's very demoralizing for the opponent. We like it, and you lose Brett. You lose Brett and you go to OU and you run it 48 times and you throw it 12. Pretty old school way to win a football game, and
Got it done.
I always say there's a lot of the Cradle coaches are up there looking over us. We're smiling. I said, Bo and Woody approved of 48 runs and 12 passes. Like,
absolutely.
Randy Walker approved of how we went about our business late in the year. So it wasn't as flashy as when we had Brett, and it's great to have Brett back, but it was still a lot of it had to do with this offensive line.
Look at the offensive line next time on MiamiRedHawks.com. We will take a look at the tight ends.